It's early March. Another snowstorm is supposed to hit us tonight, and riding seems like weeks away. So I've been going back through my terabytes of old video, remembering and reliving. Back in 2008, I suddenly got the urge to have another motorcycle, following a 30-year bike-free hiatus. The bike which caught my eye was a 1972 Moto Guzzi Eldorado, the quintessential 70s touring bike, the Italian Harley. A heavy old lump with rudimentary suspension, feeble brakes, limited ground clearance, and adequate, if not startling, performance. Not exactly the motorcycle for thousands of kilometers on the unpaved roads of northern Canada, right? Wrong. Long before there was such a thing as an adventure bike with long travel, electronically controlled suspension, multiple riding modes, switchable ABS, and oodles of horsepower, people had adventures on whatever bike they had. Some of us still do. It didn't take me long to discover that the old Eldorado had the kind of relentless energy that urged you to keep riding. It was stable and predictable in the corners, as long as you didn't mind a bit of wallowing, and handled gravel roads with surprising dexterity. A couple of quick trips to Gas Bay and Labrador City convinced me of her reliability. And if something did go wrong, well, there wasn't much that couldn't be fixed at the roadside on such a simple machine. Why, you might be asking, would you subject yourself to the dubious reliability, the imprecise handling, the marginal brakes, the jarring suspension, and the inadequate ground clearance of an old bike, when there are excellent, reliable ADV motorcycles available, designed specifically for the kinds of roads you like to ride? A KTM Globetrotter, or a BMW Godzilla perhaps. Or maybe something smaller, a Honda Asia 300 or a Royal Enfield Appalachia for those gnarly trails. The choices are legion. Although personally I don't have any desire to ride difficult trails or navigate my way through untravelled country unless I do it on foot. The short answer is, every ride on one of my old bikes is epic, whether it's a couple of 100 kilometers to meet up for pancakes, or a cross-country marathon. There's something about the sound and feel of a machine from an earlier generation that speaks to me in a way that no modern machine I've ever ridden has. I don't expect anyone else to agree, or be influenced by my peculiarities. It's a personal thing. Having said that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with riding a well-designed and wonderfully performing modern bike. I've had one or two myself, and ridden others, and if that's what puts a smile on your face, that's wonderful. It's not my intention to throw shade on someone else's preferences. Each to their own. The longer answer is that those of us who inhabit the first world have become so insulated from discomfort, so unused to any kind of physical suffering, so quick to switch on the furnace or air conditioner, so accustomed to jumping into or onto our ultra-smooth vehicles, that we're in danger of forgetting what it's like to be alive. For me, smoothing out potholes and washboard with the ultra-efficient suspension and dual-sport tyres of a modern ADV bike adds nothing to the experience. It may allow you to rip along those big gravel roads at highway speed, but to what end? We seem to be trying to tame the world with technology, but in the end, all we're doing is taming ourselves. I must emphasize that I don't expect others to share my choices. Whatever you choose to do and however you choose to do it is right for you. I get a kick out of never being quite sure I'll get where I'm going, and enjoy the compromises I have to make to ride older machines. And if there's any point to this rambling, it's this. Don't feel as though you can't have adventures just because you can't afford the latest or greatest. Ride whatever you have. There's still adventure to be found. I have a 1960 Panther in the garage, a single-cylinder 650 plodder, more or less unchanged since the 1930s. It leaks, burns heavy oil like a container ship, and the exhaust valve occasionally sticks open. I've been thinking of taking it for a good long spin. I'm starting to feel the call of Quebec's James Bay Road again. So if you're up that way and see an old bike at the side of the road, slow down and take a look. I may have problems, but I'm probably just watering the bushes. As always, a little self-promo at the end of my videos. My various motorcycle books are available through Amazon and Audible in paperback, digital, and audiobook formats. Just search for Nick Adams Motorcycle. Ignore any political stuff. That's not me. Thanks for watching.